Hello, Starshine. This is Smadar from Song of Stones, and I'm here today. It's a little unexpected recording. But I wanted to um, speak to you about the magic that happened with these crystals while it was fresh. And this is something that is very fresh. I'm still in the magic of it and the energy of these crystals, so I'm going to try and be as clear and succinct as possible. And if anyone's going to be able to help me do that, it's these crystals, especially these ones, and you'll find out why in a minute. So first, before I get ahead of myself, let me introduce myself to those who don't know who I am. I am a crystal whisperer, co-creator of Song of Stones. And what do I mean by a crystal whisperer? It means I talk to stones and they talk to me. And I'm going to give you a real-time example of that just shortly. So let me begin by telling you a little bit about my day yesterday. There's this really lovely person that I know, beautiful soul, and she was on my mind so powerfully yesterday. And she's been going through some stuff, and I was just thinking how much I would love to gift her with a crystal. And then I reached out to her and said hello, but she was really on my mind, and I really felt that a crystal could really be helpful to her. So I got involved in the day, and there was lots happening yesterday. It was a very full day, lots of distractions, lots of drama, family stuff, all kinds of things. Anyways, evening came, and understandably, I was exhausted. I was starting to fall asleep on the couch and thought, okay, it's time to go to sleep. So I went upstairs and started to get ready for bed. And then I had this really strong pull to come and find the dragon crystals who were singing to me yesterday. Not yesterday, but I knew that there were some dragon crystals that were calling to me, and I knew that I was going to be pulling them out for you guys to share with you guys. And I don't know why that they were calling to me just at the time when I was most tired and most ready to go to sleep, and that was when they wanted to be found. So I know better than to argue with the crystals when they are calling to me. There's no point. And then, of course, I would miss out on so much magic too. So it's exciting when the crystals start singing. And that's what I call it. That's how I see it, that they're singing to me. And that song is not something that's audible to the naked ear. If I was to describe it, I would say it's definitely a communication. It's a whispering. The stone speaking to me without sound that we would call sound. When I say we, I'm talking about human beings. Maybe it's kind of like what, how dogs can hear sounds that we can't hear. Maybe I just can hear something that isn't normally audible. So, I'm stumbling a little bit with it because it's really it's a very magical, ethereal kind of experience, and it's hard to put words to. So I did the best I could, and I feel the support of these crystals. So while I was pulling out the dragon crystals, and there are quite a few, and I will be sharing them soon, if you've been following the Sunday Sparkles or reading the light log posts on the website songofstones.com, or listening to the YouTube channel, you might have heard me talk about the dragon crystals, and I knew that there were some that I wanted to share with you, and I had planned on doing that last weekend, but they just totally slipped my mind. And I don't want to say I forgot, because now that I've had this experience, it's easy for me to see. In the moment, I just have to trust in the flow and just go with it. But now I see that it was so clear that I needed to look for the dragon stones when I did. Because while I was looking for the dragon stones, I found this beautiful being. It is an aquamarine. I'm going to hold it up because you can see. There's one, they're beautiful even, the crystals are beautiful even when, at all times, whether we're holding them or not. But I feel like, when they're in our hands, they kind of come alive. There's just something so magical that happens when they're being held. So this gorgeous, gorgeous being was singing to me. So I pulled it out, and I kept it near me through the evening. And I didn't know why. I had no idea why. I just, like I said, when I'm in this, I want to call it a dance, because it really is a dance. It's one step. I take one step, and the crystals take one step. And there's a gracefulness and a harmony that comes through that dance. So the song and dance. The Song of the Stones and this beautiful dance that we're doing. So when I woke up this morning, I had forgotten all about this crystal. I had a dream in the middle of the night that I remembered when I woke up. And the dream, I could easily just skip telling you about it, because in a sense, it's not necessarily relevant, but it is. So I'm just going to tell you about it. I don't normally share too many personal things, but I feel like today is going to be one of those days. So the dream was about me trying on some clothes at a clothing store, and coming out of the dressing room, and there were some kids playing, and the kids were spraying each other playfully with hairspray. And of course, when I came out, I was in the center of it and got sprayed all over with this hairspray. And you probably don't, some people know this about me. Generally, I don't talk about it, and there's a reason for it, and I'll tell you the reason. But I am, well, you all know I'm a highly sensitive person. That's something I talk about often. But I have chemical sensitivities. There's a word, there's a label to describe what I experience, and it's called environmental sensitivities or multiple chemical sensitivities. And there is a growing number of people who experience these sensitivities, and it is labeled a disability. And that's one of the reasons I don't talk about it openly, because I don't like to see it as a disability. The way I see it is very different than most, which, if you know me, won't surprise you. I'm hesitating because I don't know if this is the time to fully go into. Yeah, okay, I'm hearing that it is, so I will continue. So there is a growing number of people who experience these environmental sensitivities. Sensitivities to chemicals, to fragrances, which are chemicals, to, it's often laundry detergents and cleaning detergents and anything that has fragrance, of course, perfumes. And there's also another side to it, which it's considered separate, but I see it as one whole thing, and that's the sensitivity to EMFs. And I've spoken a lot about EMFs and how shungite helps with that. Shungite has come into our world. It's been around forever, of course, but people are starting to know about it now, because this is when we need it, because so many of us are experiencing these sensitivities. And truthfully, we're all sensitive to these things because they're just not great energies for human beings. They're known to be toxic to human beings, and a lot of them are can be even carcinogenic. But I don't want to go into all that, because I don't like to go into things through a space of fear. So I like to focus on things through the lens of light and love and all things beautiful. And this is not me denying or glossing over or avoiding the reactions to these substances, because they are very real and very intense, and they can be the words aren't coming to me. It's probably because I'm not supposed to say it. So they can affect our lives in a very challenging way. They can cause us to be isolated. There are a lot of physical sensations that include brain fog and issues with breathing and migraines and dizziness and all kinds of stuff, all kinds of good stuff. Anyways, so in this dream, after I was sprayed with this hairspray, I was yelling at these kids, telling them how this substance affects me and how it hurts me and how I react to it and all. Just, I don't remember exactly what I said, but you get the gist. And the kids were genuinely concerned and upset over this and remorseful. And when I woke up, I found myself thinking that, you know, is part of the message of the dream, is it that we need to express ourselves when we're experiencing difficulties, and a lot of us don't for very many reasons. One of which is that a lot of times people don't take us seriously, or they don't, because they haven't had the experience, they don't understand, and and it's not that they don't want to be empathetic, it's just that they don't see the severity of it. So and then it also creates, you know, our life changes when we have these kinds of sensitivities, and not everybody wants to be part of that change, because it is, you know, it does take a lot of energy and a lot of effort to be chemical free in a world that is so full of chemicals. So that was what I was wondering. Is that the message of this dream? Am I hearing that we're supposed to express ourselves and really talk about how we're feeling so that people understand? So that was the dream. And then I remembered the aquamarine. And did I mention this is an aquamarine stone? In case I didn't, that's what it is. I think I did. Anyways, so I realized also that this aquamarine stone was a soul journey stone. And if you don't know what a soul journey stone is, these are the stones that come into our lives for powerful, life-shifting transformation. And one of the things that I do as a crystal whisperer is to listen for these stones for people. And when I do, sometimes the way that the stones reveal themselves, the soul journey stones, is precisely the way that I described how this aquamarine stone came to be. It's this whole dance. It's almost like I enter into this altered consciousness. And I don't want to say it's a trance, because, you know, there's too many judgments and expectations around what that means. But it is it is a type of altered state where I am so connected to this song of this crystal And it's almost, it's this very magical experience where in a space full of crystals, and I can tell you without hesitation that there are thousands of crystals in my home. Somehow the one that is singing for the person that is meant to receive the stone finds a way to show me a path directly to it. And how I described finding the stone, going to sleep, getting pulled out of bed, looking for what I thought is one thing and finding something else, but knowing immediately when I have this other crystal in my hand that this is the one, that the whole reason I've been looking for the other stones, even though looking for the other stones also has purpose, because it doesn't have to be one or the other, it can be both. And when you're talking about magic and the universe, and it doesn't have to be just one thing, it could be many things, and it often is. I can only do one thing at a time, but the universe can do endless things at the same time. So that is how this soul journey stone came to be, and I knew immediately that it was for this person I had been thinking about yesterday, and I had been knowing that I wanted to gift this person with a crystal, and didn't know what was going to happen. And there's more to the magic. A message came through as well, and then I was inspired to bring out these aquamarine crystals to share with you guys, and I will do that this coming weekend in the Sunday Sparkle. And if you haven't signed up yet for the Sunday Sparkle, you're welcome to do that. There is links to the sign up form in all kinds of places, on social media, on my social media, Instagram and Facebook, on the website, and there will be a link under the YouTube video of this recording. So that was that, and then I also was inspired to pair her. My God, that's beautiful. Okay. I was guided to pair this crystal with a copal stone. And if you've been following, you know all about copal, because copal is the year stone for 2023. And it's a very, very needed energy. There's a lot that we are coping with, and copal is going to help us cope with it all. And in case I wasn't clear with the way that I was describing it, copal, if you look at the lettering and the name on a piece of paper, you can see that it blends the words cope and all. So, but I've spoken about that, and there's a lot of information on copal in on the website. You just search copal and it'll all come up. at songofstones.com. So one of the things that came through this morning too, when I was listening to the aquamarine, and I will be sharing all that. I think I'm going to wind down on this video. There's a lot more to share, but aquamarine is here. They're telling me that they are here to help us release anger, to help us with our breathing, to help release any obstructions in our breathing, and that could be physically or energetically. And again, I'll be talking more about that, but I am, and these are all also aquamarine. These are a group that wanted to be set aside for the specific purpose of releasing obstructions and clearing the breathing airways. And I'll be talking more about that as well in the newsletter or in a blog post somewhere. You'll be hearing about it. And I will talk more about, there's some of these aquamarine crystals are very special. Like, for instance, this one here, which is about, yes, this is the way it wants to be held. Wow, look at the shift in the energy of the crystal when it just, they have this way of showing you how to hold them. So this is about, this one is about, what I was hearing from it is the name Scorched Heart. So I believe this one is, we'll see, I'll talk more about it, but I believe just at first listening, it's going to be for someone who has been around a lot of smoke, and that's maybe it's for someone who's been through fires, or who is a smoker, or I don't know, but we will talk more about that. And then this one also is a really special. You can see there's something embedded inside, two things that are embedded within this copal stone, and that's very in harmony with what we've been talking about. So here's some copal stones, just for you to see, to feel into their energy. Since we're talking about it, I thought I'd pull them out. So I have talked for far longer than I usually talk on these videos, and my legs are asleep because I'm in this weird position because it's so dark in the house, because when I woke up it was pouring, and if it was not pouring I would be out in the forest taking my morning walk. But I feel like the universe, has a way of getting us to be exactly where we're supposed to be. And I was supposed to be in communion with these crystals this morning. And let's just end with this beautiful crystal. And I can't wait to share this with the person who it's meant for. And I'm glad that you guys got to hear the story about how the Soul Journey stones come to be. And maybe you've had similar experiences yourself and will benefit from hearing that you're not crazy. That magic is real. And that it is so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Okay, and I'm sure this is a reflection of the person who is going to be receiving this crystal, because this person is such a beautiful soul and so generous and giving and loving. And I feel like when you see these two stones, you're feeling a little bit into the spirit and soul of this person. So I want to send you blessings, many, many blessings of all good things. And may you breathe freely and easily, and I hope that what I shared here held something for you, or some meaning for you. And I wish you a magical, beautiful day. Sending you lots and lots of love.